Or is anybody out there?
Yes.
Oh, all right, good. If you hear me darrande på rösten, it's only, I like to try to do this in English because of the English-speaking audience, and I guess that everyone from Sweden, Norway and Denmark understand English as well. Alla förstår engelska. Alla klarar av det engelska språket. Good. My name is Michael Andersén. I'm a master builder. I'm a tool fanatic. It's not me, it's a commercial photo, but I like it so much, so I like to start with that one. Next. In the beginning of my career, I was studying to be a builder's engineer, construction engineer, and work with modern buildings for 5 years or so. Then I found out that that was all rubbish to build houses with concrete, glass, and plastic. So after 5 years with Sten Nilsson, who's my master, I started my own company building ecological houses, or mostly renovating the historical buildings for 30 years. After 3 years, I decided to build my own house, and I wanted to build that house as perfect as possible, as healthy, as beautiful, as sustainable as I could. And this was the result after buying 50 tons of clay, 300 tons of granite, 18-wheeler truck of straw or reed, water reed, 60 cubic meters of timber, oak, spruce, and pine, and 5,000 hours of work. So I started with cutting down the wood in the forest, and finish off with shaving all that wood before assembling it. So in the meantime, I learned to be a thatcher. I don't know if lumberjack is the word, but timmerman, okay? And my father was a mason, so I've learned that too. And of course, carpentry, I worked a lot with. So the Perfect House project started actually 30 years ago when I decided to build my own house. And after 30 years in restoration business, I found a lot of techniques, materials to use to build new houses for the future that is just as good as the historical buildings, and with all the comfort that we as a human being need at this time. We can't live in a tent anymore. We're not used to that anymore. So this is a pursuit for the ultimate way to build a house without raping our nature. And to find out how to build that house, we're searching the whole world from the beginning of time, where we started with living in teepees and tents. After a few generations, we found out that reed or grass, something, is a better way to protect from rain and wind. So we started thatching for like 80,000 generations ago. And from our masters all over the world, we can learn techniques that's still used today. So what I'm looking for this Perfect House project is material, techniques, traditions, and tools to work with. And I look in the history, in the archaeology, the media, and all the masters that's still alive. So a lot of study, a lot of visits, travels, a lot of practice, like 30 years or so, and to work with the masters, not only talk to them, to work with the masters. You can learn the crafts and understanding of the materials that they use. So we have some key points to the perfect house. What is it? It should be sustainable, habitable, and aesthetic. So that's the lead word for all I do with this project. I could say that my restoration business is still going on, but my right hand Jesper, sitting here, is the head of that part of the work now. So I just concentrate all my time on this project now. So wood, of course, to build houses for the future. That's the absolute perfect building material. The guy from northern Skåne, Hans, he said that if you put all the engineers in the world together and gave them the lifetime to find out the best material to work with, they couldn't find out wood. It's so complicated, it's so perfect in every detail and so useful for everything we do with furniture and houses. So we should treat them with respect. So this is a forest like 100 miles from here. 10 miles, yeah. 1,5 mil, vad är det? 10 miles, 10 miles from here. We call it the church or the Pelarsalen. There are trees like 25, 30 meters high. It's never been clear cut. And from that forest we can pick trees that 100 years plus. I would like them to stay like 20, 30 years more in the forest. So I told the owner not to cut them all down. We can take some trees, 100 trees a year, and the forest will regrow in its own pace. No planting needed. And here we have some logs, 8 meter long, that we are milling at, let's see, in a speed, in this speed, perfect. This is how we work. So this is Sten Nilsson's sawmill, where we can cut really long wood up to 23 meters, I guess. So 30 meters, all right. So this is the longest now. This is how wide is the house, depending on how long beams you can do. So this is for my son's house, 8 meter beams. Normally we use up to 6 meters, 660, 25 feet. So here we are in Mariestad, where we found the wood. Oh. Should work. Yeah. We're leaving Mariestad. This is what I did this morning. I had quite fun. So this is where I live. In an old fisherman village, just north of the town of Helsingborg, very close to Denmark. I see Denmark from my study, from my library. And here we have the house. It's a Scanian longhouse. Scanian is the most south part of Sweden, and the tradition goes back to the Stone Age, actually, when we started to make krakar or small longhouses, and they became bigger, up to 80 meters, even under the Stone Age. My house is like 27 meters. What's that? 90 feet or something. And it's following the road. And that's why the angle on the house. So this is where I started, like 25 years ago, building this house. And now we're working on my daughter's house. When it's an old, my house is a new house. This is like from 1880s, half timber house with bricks between, thatch on top, of course, the best roof in the world, the cheapest, the best, the most sustainable. Cheapest, I say, by volume, not by square meters. But you get a lot for your money when you buy. Compared to a thin roof, you get like a small pickup with fin for your roof. Here it is an 18-wheeler truck loaded. And you can as well use the insulation from the reed. Very good insulation. So this is the krake, the old way of building houses that we done for 80,000 generations, I guess, with shaved spruce, dig a hole in the ground, burn the edges, ends, stick them down the ground, and it stays for 100 years. Thatch roof on top with this leaning, it gives you a lifespan of 50 years. So you have to rethatch this after 50 years, and that you have a construction that stands for 100 years. This will stand for forever if you just rethatch it every 50 years. So I learned that thatch is the best method of protect your framework from rain and wind. You see how fast we work? It's just like laying out tiles. You start from the bottom right, and you lay one bundle at a time, open it, adjust it, and then fix it to the roof with whatever you got. In the beginning, we had only two tools to use to build a krake, the oldest building. It's an axe and it's a knife. So to be a thatcher, you need one tool, and that's the knife. You can cut your water reed in the lake, and you can cut your ropes or bark or whatever you fix it with, and the hazel spars to fix it to the roof. So this is the pace you have to find to have an effective, yeah, you see me lying down there, I need some rest once in a while. But this is 3 days work for 2 thatchers and 2 handymans. The one with skirt is my daughter, handyman, and the one with shorts is Jasper's son, Victor. So these guys are learning thatching from start. She's been on the roof since she was 10 years old. And Victor, since he was 30. Yeah. So now for wooden structure, how to insulate the walls. We saw Johannes with, I would call it a dry building method that you are using with dry materials all the way. I like to build a house that with methods that could stand rain from the beginning to the end. It's water loving, it's hydrophile construction method. So everything loves water. Don't worry about rain and snow or whatever. When you cover the roof with straw, you don't like rain while thatching, but any time else it's no matter that it's rain or snowing or whatever. So this is hempcrete. It's a mixture of the inside of a hemp stem, you know, the marijuana vegetable. We can have it. The fibers are fantastic for all clothing and ropes and whatever. And the things that are inside the stem is fantastic for insulation. It's almost only air and silica, chisel. So it's very light, and we mix it with lime, and we get a hard wall. It's a wet construction, so you have to dry it out after applying it. This is with PC technique. You have a small plywood and put this inside, and directly afterward you can put the plywood off and then plaster it. To hold, it's not self-bearing, so you have only self-bearing. You can't bear any structure with this. So we have some wooden rafters to keep it all in place. And this is another method where we're spraying it on top. You can spray up to 8 cubic meters a day. This is from the inside on an existing thatch roof. This is my daughter driving the nozzle. Once she gets hold of it, she won't let it go. So I'm just filling up the machine and she's doing the hard work. So this is her house, insulating 250 square meters from the inside. And it was absolutely perfect. But once you get on the outside, if you spray it on before thatching, it's much easier. 4 times faster to do it from the outside. This is the, I'll take 5 minutes. Oh, I'm coming. Machinery. Me in my spacesuit, spraying it on top. And no worries to just spray it on everything. Wood, rafters. It's all hydrophil building, so it all can stand the water. And of course, plastering afterwards. So this is the rafters visible with this hempcrete in between and lime plaster on top. Makes a very nice interior. And the houses are heated with Finnish fireplaces. They are 100% burning off, so you have no smoke and no smell from a little smoke from the beginning of the fire, but once the oven is hot, you can't even see any smoke from the chimney. That's how clean the combustion is. So we have made some different sizes of the perfect house. This is the extra small or small house, 12 square meters, round houses with cell glass insulation beneath the floor, granite for foundation, bricks. We have the framework, the Stolpverk, the thatch roof, the hempcrete insulation, the lime plaster. That's what I found out will be the perfect combination of materials to build the future with. So we have the the medium-sized pavilion, 40 square meters, with details from Jack Soborn, who's kind enough to help me with details, not to cut them, but to construct them. This is his drawing from the Gotlandic Scanian longhouse that we built in Scotland 2 years ago. That will be risen this summer on my son's site. So this is 100 square meters, and my son is planning to build a 200 square meters longhouse. 1 minute, all right. Details of that. I have them outside for any questions afterward. Pictures of the small pavilion, thatch roof, timber frame, bricks, granite. This is the medium size pavilion, 40 square meters, frames, thatch roof. Here's even tiles on the roof, and a little tower at the corner, a medieval tower. And this is the Gotlandian Lada, we call it, or Scandinavian longhouse. Jesper working with the tenants, mortise and tenants. Every piece of wood is hand shaved, all sizes, even underneath, to clean off any dirt or bacteria or mushrooms or whatever, and it gives a very beautiful, smooth size. Model of the T-pavilion, the T-pavilion's föregångare. We burn all the wood in this construction, burn it after shaving to get a very nice look. Inside, carpentry, I do as well. And, well, this is all you need to build a house. This is a medieval or Viking tool chest carried by 2 men, and you have all the tools to build the whole society with. Fantastic. Well, out. That's all. Thank you. Any questions after this session? I'll be on my table outside. Thank you.